Hello my family. Today we are going to be in the kitchen. I actually have two videos that I'm fixing to do. One, I am doing a meal prep. That will be this video. Currently have the oven preheating because we are going to do a pre-made breakfast frittata, a very nice one. Now this one will go in every direction, from Mediterranean even to low carb. It is actually a very beautiful meal, and it'll kind of take you like you're on a sophisticated, I guess, breakfast. It's actually made with egg whites. There is no egg yolks whatsoever in this. I got the recipe from Mediterranean Dish. Suzy makes some of the most amazing food you will ever try, and when I find something that is absolutely amazing, I will share it with you because I think it's worth being shared. However, I never take the credit, so I will always tell you this dish belongs to the Mediterranean Dish. And you are welcome. I would encourage you to actually go check out her YouTube channel because she has some amazing food. But I am going to go ahead and make this dish with you, and I will put the recipe in the description. But again, I am going to inform you this is not mine. This frittata makes about 8 slices, and per slice there's 104 calories. There's only 1.1 grams of carbs. Y'all, that's amazing. There's 11.5 grams of protein, 0.2 grams of fiber, and 0.7 grams of sugar, which is less than a gram. What this meal is an egg white frittata with some smoked salmon. Now, my husband, I think it was last week, did some smoked salmon for me, and instead of paying that small little ounce prices, we actually bought for the same price it was for this. I think it was 4 to 6 ounces. One was 11 ounces for like $12. So what we ended up doing is getting a nice big piece for the same price of salmon, and he came home and we smoked it. So I am going to be using that. Some of the ingredients in here, I may substitute goat cheese for feta cheese. I don't know yet. My husband, he doesn't particularly like feta, but he may make it or eat it if it's like this. I do have an update about his echocardiograph that we went for last week. We said we would keep you updated. Well, there is going to be, unfortunately, another appointment next week, and I will explain to you what's happened. They called him this morning and stated that it looks like some time back he had another heart attack, and there was like another 30 to 35% damage to his heart. However, he actually never showed any, absolutely no signs that he even had a heart attack. The last one he had was 14 years ago like that, and trust me, we knew when he had a heart attack like that. However, if you remember right, back in November, I had told you all that I had to actually wait for a brief moment on my videos because my husband had a really bad accident. And in that accident, honestly, he had a work truck, a really big truck, and to no avail of his fault, he ended up in the end of it, his truck hit a cement wall, and it did a huge blunt force to his chest. His chest met the steering wheel. I don't believe that truck didn't have an airbag, so he actually ended up hitting blunt force to his chest. Now, in our research, that would cause damage to his heart. Now, his cardiologist wants to see him next week talking about treatments, but before we allow him to do treatments, he needs to be informed about this accident because unfortunately, they fixed his broken wrist, they checked his wrist, and they took care of all his cuts. They never did check his heart though, and he informed everybody that he was having chest pain. his chest was absolutely bruised, and nobody had done any ultrasounds or anything, x-rays or nothing on his chest. So we're going to discuss that before they talk about treatment, because this is very well possible. It's called a myocardial contusion. It is very possible that that damage to his heart, which shows new recent damage, could have been from that accident. And the only treatment for that, unfortunately, is going to be time. So we're going to see if this wasn't permanently. So we'll check with it then, and I will keep you updated. I believe his appointment is next week, Thursday. So we're actually not going to panic at this point. We seriously don't think it was a heart attack. In our heart of hearts, we do believe that that accident, we were afraid of that in the first place. And so we do believe that that was part of it. So we'll find out. But anyways, that's where we stand on that. So I am going to actually be making this video with you for a nice, very nice breakfast with you. And I'm also going to include some other ideas that you can add to this to make a beautiful meal with your cup of coffee. Another one I'm getting ready to do is, even though this report may be from the accident, it kind of still triggers our mind that maybe we want to also start looking into leaner meat, which is what is based on the Mediterranean, is lean meat. We both lost enough weight that this becomes an important factor to us. So we want to incorporate leaner meats, which means we're going to step back from the fat porks and the high fat red meats, using those occasionally. We're going to be incorporating more chicken skinless and adding some more fish to our diet. And with that, I am actually going to be making a regular and a low carb version of a chicken cutlet, and I am going to be making a Mediterranean bean salad, and my husband is actually going to have a regular salad with his. I will show you how to dress up this cutlet and have a beautiful meal for low carb and regular Mediterranean. I am working with both easily to incorporate for everybody, and we all are happy and we can have some excellent and very beautiful meals. And we're going to start with this breakfast one. So let me get ready, get set up, and we will start in the kitchen. Okay, my family friends, we are going to first start out with separating 12 or 1 dozen large eggs. We're going to take the yolks and set them aside and use them for something else, because we are just concentrating right now on nothing but the egg whites. So I am going to be separating my yolks without breaking them if I can. And just getting that. There we go. That's better. Need to get me an egg separator. I'm just going to go ahead and separate all of these eggs. Now these are our farm fresh eggs, so it gives me another way to incorporate all these eggs for the week and have a very nice, I'm just going to say a nice elegant Mediterranean breakfast. So I'm going to go ahead and get this finished off, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so I'm going to take these eggs and set them aside. Some of the ideas that you can do with this also, and I would see this absolutely working with this dish in the end. If you've got the yolks pretty much whole, I don't, but I know how many I have, so I can incorporate 4 eggs to a stick of butter. You can actually make a good size hollandaise sauce out of this as well. I could see this working beautifully, and what you could end up doing, if you wanted to make it smaller batch, is separate 4 egg yolks, set it aside to make you a nice topping for this egg frittata in the end of it, topped with some, now it would raise the fat content, but it would be a very nice topping for this salmon frittata, egg whites, with hollandaise sauce on top. And it's got a nice lemony, creamy, wow, yeah, I could see that. So let me get this put up, and then we're going to add our next ingredients here. So I am going to now add into this bowl of egg whites, I'm going to add 1 small chopped onion. And actually I should have sauteed these first. So, but I kind of, well, no, I should have sauteed them first. That was a mess up. So anyways, we're going to already do this. So I am going to have to get my pan started as well. So I'm going to be drizzling about a tablespoon or so of olive oil in here, because this pan is actually also going to go in the oven. And this is when the onion should have been sauteed in the olive oil once it heated up with it. So I am going to leave it just like it is for me. Yes. So I'm going to get this done, and in the meantime, I've already messed up, so I'm going to go ahead and keep going. My next step is now adding, and I'm using, she's got in her recipe to have, let's see how much here, 6 ounces of smoked salmon, which that's about the going size at, you can find it at Walmart. However, I am using fresh salmon that was smoked at home, so I am actually going to be adding these pieces into my frittata. I'm going to use this whole thing, and it's got a beautiful, my husband did an amazing job at this. I'm going to go ahead and add some of this goat cheese to it as well. I'm just going to break it up in pieces because it's all going to get mixed in here. So, and it'll get broken up even more actually. So I'm just going to break this up. It's a 4-ounce package of goat cheese, and you can use plain. That's what this one is. Or I would prefer, I wish I looked to see if I had any more, but the garlic and herb would be amazing to the flavor of this. So I'm just giving you some ideas that I could pretty much taste and see that goes to this dish that would enhance it even better. Okay, so now that takes care of that. Wash my hands off here. Now I'm going to add some fresh chopped dill as well. And there'll be more added for garnish pretty much, but I need about 2 tablespoons of chopped dill added to this. And this is from my own garden. I knew I'd use a lot of dill, so I purposely grew that this year. I grow it even if I'm not doing pickles, because this is great on fish. This is amazing on salads, or even like this meal here. It has salmon in it, so this dill I can absolutely see working. Now, I have not tried this dish, and I thought I'd try it with you together, like I do in many others. So, okay, so, oh, nope, that's not what I'm looking for here. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and chop my dill up, and we're going to sprinkle it inside of this dish. And I need about 2 tablespoons of it. And I'm going to be using some of this anyways, so in the end, so I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons approximate of my dill. I'm going to add some pepper. Now, she stated to add capers. I don't necessarily have capers right now, so I'm going to omit it. But she says to add 1 tablespoon of capers drained and roughly chopped. And then about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Instead of capers, because I'm not using capers, I'm going to add a little bit of salt to mine. And that's basically about it. So I'm going to mix this up really good. Turn this down because I'm going to be adding my eggs in just a moment. I'm going to mix this up very nicely. And I'm trying not to break up my salmon too much. I don't know if you can see this. It looks like a hot mess right now, but... And we're going to pour it in this pan, but it is going to go in the oven. And according to what she said in the instructions, so once I pour it in here, I'm going to look for the edges to start to bubble. Let's see, let me make sure that I'm reading this right. Yeah, okay, so we're going to look for the edges to start to set on this, and once those edges start to set, then we're going to put it in the oven for about 12 minutes. So let me go ahead and move you and situate you so you can see this happening on this next step. Okay, so now I'm just going to add this to the pan. I'm going to make sure it's evenly distributed throughout this whole thing because it's going to bake in the oven, and I want it even all the way around. So I'm just looking right now for the outside edges here to start showing signs of setting where it's being cooked. And it's slowly getting there. Once that happens, we'll be popping this in a 350-degree oven about 12 minutes, or until the dish is set, basically. I'm gonna wait and see. Yeah. Okay, so our sides are getting done. Now I'm going to turn this off, and I am going to stick this in the oven. I'm going to set our timer for 12 minutes. And we're going to get this started. It looks amazing, y'all, and it actually smells so good. So now I'm going to set this. And we will be back as soon as this is done. Oh, so here's the finished product, y'all, that come out of the oven. This is our egg white smoked salmon frittata. Now, I am going to be sitting with you. I have not eaten today. This is actually going to be brunch with me. And I'm going to go ahead and try this recipe with you and then have a brief moment of one-on-one. I have some ideas, and I'm going to just go over them with you and see what you think. So, but this is, gosh almighty, y'all, this is absolutely beautiful. And then now I'm going to let this cool off slightly so I can cut it up in 8 pieces like a pie shape. And I'm going to sprinkle some of this fresh dill on top. Oh my gosh, my tummy's growling just looking at this, y'all. So, okay, so I'm going to get this set up, let this cool down, and we will try this together because I can't wait to try this. So I'm going to set it up where we can have a sitting moment with you. Okay, y'all, so when I saw her make this dish, and this was very recently, it just set an appealing wow to me, and I really had to try this. So, like I said, I got my husband last weekend to smoke salmon for us, and that big old piece, I broke it down and then froze it to make individual servings like this. So, and then I've got unsweetened tea with you. We are going to try this. It smells so good. My goodness, it smells so good. I'm going to actually try this, y'all. I can't wait no more. Probably should have been cooled down just a little bit more, but it'll be all right. And this is something I absolutely can feed my husband. Healthy. It's got healthy fats, healthy protein, hardly no carbs at all in this. Okay, so my review for this dish, holy smokes, it's a very dreamy, to me, I'm just going to say that is a beautiful, very beautiful breakfast brunch. This is absolutely delicious. So I would absolutely encourage you to please try the Mediterranean dish. It's egg white smoked salmon. Like I said, I will give you the recipe, but folks, I really encourage you to check out Mediterranean Dish YouTube channel. I am not being promoted by her. I will tell you reasons why I am, I guess in my way, promoting her and endorsing her. She has helped me so much. She is the reason I'm able to maintain who I am and what I am today in the past couple of months, and I'll describe how. But her food, my goodness, y'all, it's absolutely amazing. And to make a low-carb dish like this, absolutely beautiful, that a diabetic wouldn't even know that they're a diabetic. Yes, I will keep encouraging her. I will keep making her dishes and providing this on my husband's plate and offering it to you as my family and my guests. Because honestly, when you eat with me, when you cook with me, we sup together. So I'm not going to give you something that I would not eat. Personally, you should know me by now. If it don't taste good, I'm going to tell you straight up, it don't taste good. And I will tell you, it's up to you what you think of it. But I have done that too. There were dishes I've made and I told you straight up, personally for me, I probably would never do it again. But this one, everything about Suzy's dishes, I make my routine basically. So this is another one, and once it's cooled down, you can leave it in your refrigerator up to 3 to 5 days. So, and then if you wanted to, you can even freeze this and reheat it. So this is definitely going to be put for my husband and my breakfast in the morning extremely well. That is, wow, one dreamy dish, and I can taste it, and just, I keep looking at this because I'm wanting to dig into it. I will say that part of the reason, out of every diet guru out there, the Mediterranean dishes help me the most. And the reason for that, when I look at the Mediterranean dish, what they call the pyramid, I just take a general look of it. The main ingredients of using is, if you're using a protein, the eggs and the skinless chicken and seafood, legumes, beans are kind of like a daily thing, even though they're a carb. However, I do know that diabetics have to use those sparingly. So there are some things that a diabetic can incorporate in this lifestyle, but has to be very cautious about. The one thing about the legume or beans is that they are, they're a slow, complex carb that breaks down over time, but beans are also an excellent fiber source. So what we would have to do basically is find the alterations of incorporating something like this, using more fiber-based foods that are safer for diabetics, to give them the occasional times that they cannot have a bean or a bean dish. Now some people maybe be able to handle that in very small portions, and my husband can occasionally, but it will still spike him. So he will get his beans sometimes, but we have to find other sources to accommodate for those fiber sources. What we really watch the most is sugar and those simple carbs, the pastas and the breads. Now what I will do, my future is what I'm looking at. I seem to do an awful lot of cooking in the kitchen with you, and it makes sense because a lot of you, just like I didn't, there's so much out there, but it's bits and pieces broke down. There's no one making complete whole meals on what can I fix for me and my husband on Mediterranean side or even on the carb side. So, or low carb side for diabetics. So that's what my goal is. We are just going to make complete meals. Now, what would I do with this one to add to this? Frankly, it doesn't need anything. But if I wanted to add, I could incorporate some more good fats, good slices of avocado would be excellent with this. Even maybe some sliced tomatoes you could add with that and saute them up with maybe a little bit of garlic and olive oil, or just slice them and put them on top. So those are some good options that would actually go with this. And again, a small amount of hollandaise sauce would be beautiful on top of that. Absolutely amazing. So, and like tonight, now tonight I'm going to be making, and I will be making a video of that. I will be making us a chicken cutlet. However, I'll be making, like I've stated, a low carb version and a regular version. This way both of us can enjoy the same meal. And you wouldn't think you can, but you absolutely could. And then we will both have our own salads, so we both are having the same meal, kind of Mediterranean style, but safer for him and easy for me, and what incorporates what I need to maintain. So this is what I am going to start doing from now on. If I do a meal, I'm going to do complete meals with you. And I will inform you. I will be using a lot of the Mediterranean dishes recipes, and I'm going to be using her cookbook. Yes, I'm going to endorse her. If you don't have this book, go ahead and use it. I have seen, folks, a lot of things on YouTube. I have seen a lot of things online. The Mediterranean dish has been, to me, the #1 top 10 or top #1 place that I turn to for all my Mediterranean dishes, because this chick has it going on. She knows what flavor is. She knows what balance is. She absolutely knows how to mentor somebody without even knowing she's mentoring them, like me. She's teaching me how to incorporate my carbs, how to eat properly, and how to do this. Just like I told you in our coffee time, I will take and I will eat bread, but only a certain amount of time in the week. I will space everything down. I will break it down in portion sizes, and it's what makes me maintain, and I really don't have restrictions. Now, one day I would like to be able to make a beautiful fuchsia bread. And now I understand that's not low carb. And I am going to be looking into, and I promise all of you who are my low carb family and my diabetic family, I promise you I am going to continue, just like the pita bread, I'm going to continue to keep finding something that will work for you so that you can enjoy the Mediterranean lifestyle with us without being deprived as well. Such as if I were to have a fuchsia bread with maybe some hummus. I might make something for my husband and make a pita, toasted pita, and serve it with olive oil dipping sauce for him so that he can incorporate a bread with his meal just like I would, and he wouldn't feel deprived. So these are the things I'm going to work with you as well. This channel is going to concentrate a lot on working low carb Mediterranean. With my husband's 14-year ago heart attack, with the damage to his heart now, this absolutely makes sense. On top of us already controlling his diabetes and exercise, this seems to be the safest method for us. And you know what, honestly, it is the most better way we could ever eat, and it's not a diet. This is a way we should have been eating all along. We were just never taught that. So this is where I'm at, y'all. I am a homesteader who lives a Mediterranean lifestyle, who has to deal with low carb, and I am going to have fun in my kitchen, I am going to be healthy. I'm 56 years old and I'm going to enjoy life. And I will be the self-taught chef who teaches everybody what amazing food is, where to find it, how to find it. I will cook it, we will test it, we will have some fun, and occasionally we may have a glass of wine and say cheers. So, let's have some fun, y'all. You know what? I'm over this fact. I got to waking up this morning and said, you know, I'm tired of looking at my scale every day. I'm happy. I'm happy with me. I worked hard. I'm happy with me. And I pretty much know how to do this. Occasionally I may have the treat, which I did. I have to tell you what I did this morning, and I have not done this since we started this, actually a year ago. So I found a recipe because I happen to be a frou-frou. I'll admit it, I'm a frou-frou for coffee. And so I really wanted a latte, y'all. And the one thing I've never tried was an iced coffee latte. And I thought, you know what? I'm learning to do things I ain't never done before. Shoot, I've already quit smoking. I've lost all this weight. You know, I've changed my lifestyle. I want to be a bad girl for the day. So I found a recipe and I made the best. Oh my goodness. I used regular brown sugar and I made a brown sugar French vanilla syrup, homemade syrup. And so I made I forget what you call this. I can't even find it now. Cafe Bristello. I had these instant packs, so I used my Keurig. I'll get it right. But I used my Keurig and I made a batch of this and I let it cool down. And then I have my syrup in the refrigerator. And so I put this together, and then for my cream I used almond milk. I added my ice cubes, sat down for the first time ever. I tried an iced coffee latte, French vanilla. And oh my Lord, did I fall in love with that. It could be dangerous to me actually, but it felt good to be bad, and it was a beautiful treat. I am learning to understand what a treat is, and I'm learning to understand not to indulge in things that doesn't necessarily need to. Look, y'all, there is so much food out there to be tried. There's no sense trying to do it all at once. And I would personally rather have something this beautiful going into this body than a lousy bag of potato chips anymore, because honestly I know where those chips led me. And shoot, if I'm gonna have a potato chip, I'm gonna make it myself. I don't have all those preservatives anymore. I don't want those preservatives anymore. So this is where I'm gonna stick to, y'all. Decided that I'm staying here. So I really hope you enjoy being with us. I do really hope these help you, and hopefully in the future you're going to enjoy having some quality time with me, because this homestead I think is going to make the perfect Mediterranean meetings, like those big Italian families. Parton's Heritage Homestead is going to be the big Mediterranean family get together. And I really enjoyed thinking about that this morning. Having all of you in this kitchen with me, and we just sit down together, enjoy a meal. Oh, mwaha, that was beautiful. So, I will be getting ready this evening to prepare a meal for us, and I will be posting that, because every recipe I make can be something beautiful in somebody else's kitchen, and I can see you serving this to your family, smiling, enjoying each other, communicating with each other, and just saying, you know what, this is amazing. That's what my goal is. So much love to each and every one of you. I am fixing to indulge on what's left of this beautiful frittata, and we will be back again. So we'll see you from Parton's Heritage Homestead.